Well, Asher, welcome. Because you're not as well known over here as you are in the States, which is massive. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you're up to now.
Yeah, sure. I'll take you a little bit back just so you kind of have a fuller picture. I started in the industry when I was really young. I was 6 years old. I was taking piano lessons at the time, and I got an audition for the National Broadway tour, Beauty and the Beast. So I was living a very normal life, suburban, almost farm-like in Virginia. And I kind of begged my mom to go on this audition that I got it, that I went on for 2.5 years on a national tour on this show. And that kind of, I guess, opened up the portal for me in music. And so I continued doing shows after that. And throughout my career, I've really got to experience and dabble with a lot of fun projects, whether it be, TV or film. And I was signed to a major label for a time. I've been doing my solo music for the last number of years, and I've always got my hands in lots of different projects, and I just like to always explore that creativity. So I'm now based in London. Actually, I know I'm in Mexico. That's hence the get up. But I will be back in London in a few weeks, and I'm really looking forward to almost starting a new chapter in my career and trying to give it a go in London. So far it's been great. I'm so happy that people are being receptive of the new album and the new tunes. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully a bright future there. So
Without giving us the street address, whereabouts are you in London? Where are
I
you
can tell you
based?
Knightsbridge.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Knightsbridge is yeah, right, like
Yeah,
close to Harrods and that whole area, and
that,
central
that,
central London.
that's where all the
Yeah.
successful people are.
No, it's fun. It's fun. I like to hop around, but it's a beautiful area, and I'm enjoying that. So it's fun.
I just wanted to quote something that I got in the PR to do with your single Midnight Masquerade, and then I'll get you to comment on it if I can. Asher delivers a sincere portrayal of the corruption of power and narcissism we see throughout the world, and how power should be something earned, not gained. Discussing the track, Asher explains the position of power is to be upheld with dignity, grace, and honor. A voice of reason who mediates the hearts and minds of its people, not a dictator who only relishes in their own glory. Midnight Masquerade is about putting an end to the foolish and folly narcissistic minds and unveiling the wolf in sheep's clothing. That is a kind
I
of
love
big
that.
subject. Tell us a little bit more about
Yeah.
that.
It's funny. Well, you say that because it's the first I've heard it quoted back like that. And I remember I was actually in Bosnia when I wrote that piece, and I felt like it deserved a more deeper meaning because all these songs were that to me. They weren't just a track or a tune I was trying to get done fast. I really took my time with the lyrical content, the musicality, which is why this project was so fun for me, because I really got to step away from what I'm used to doing into something that I wanted to explore is the deep depths that I could go. So to get back to what you just read to me, I think I was kind of going through that as the music spoke to me. I think the music was the first part because all the songs we wrote the music, or at least a solid bass first. And then I really explored the lyrics when I went to Croatia. I wrote the entire album there over a few months. And I spent a lot of time on each song. So for Midnight, I think I was dabbling with, we were having, I would say, somewhat of a corrupt and look, every area has their leaders that maybe some people are fans of or not, and I felt like in the States we were just having so much turmoil, so much just so much division between everyone, when I felt like, and I still feel like that it shouldn't be like that. So for me, I was dabbling with that idea of having a leader in place that's really so divisive, and then also even looking within myself and sometimes in my past was stuff that I was living with that I wasn't actually dealing with. So a lot of times we go about our normal day to day, and we have these deep dark stuff that's inside of us, and we almost code it in a way that we're okay with it, and we live with it. So I don't know. It's hard to go into the pure depths. That's why I feel like I just went there with those lyrics. But for me, it's kind of that push and pull between the good and evil, and fighting hard enough to really be like, are you okay with yourself to live like that? Are you okay to have lies? Are you okay to have, I don't know. So for me, it was really just to dig deep within and to find, I don't know. It was a struggle to find where you really want to be with yourself, and so I kind of used a few different things to inspire me to get the finished product out. But yeah.
Do you spend a lot of time thinking about that type of thing?
I actually do. I think for me, I think a new layer, I would say for me in particular, is having another spiritual layer on top of my writing, because I've always felt, I know it may sound cliche, or people say this, but I felt, even when I was young, I felt like an old soul. I felt like I had a lot of deep things that I wanted to say. And even in my early 20s, when I was working with, certain characters in the industry, I wanted to portray myself different, and put off an image, or almost try to be something that I wasn't. So now that I'm kind of, fast forward a few years, there's a depth inside of me. And I had songs. It's interesting. I had a few songs that I wrote in my early 20s that people were like, you wrote that? Like, you're so young. Wow, how that's so deep. Talking about really deep subjects. And I just wasn't ready to fully dab into that and immerse myself into really the heartbeat of why I feel like music inspires people. Why does music touch people in a way that, maybe like a movie does? So why do some movies make people have an emotion, versus some that are just kind of fun to watch? So I think I was doing things that I thought sounded cool, or I thought was trendy, versus really speaking to who I was as an artist and finding that true voice inside of me through my music. And I feel like this album was a stepping stone in the right direction of finding my voice and finding the stuff that I really want to talk about in my music, and not being afraid to go there and not caring what people think. And I think that was, I guess more or less, I was trying to speak my truth.
And again, I'm relying a lot on your PR information today, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And in there, they quote you in terms of the single. I think I'm kind of paraphrasing, but you use the term universe, and the universe, I don't know exactly what you said, but helping you unfold the song, which it kind of that word speaks volumes these days. You use the term universe. I think back in the day, 100 years ago, they'd used the term God, and it kind of ties in with the New Age, for want of a better term, philosophy a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your own spirituality, and without going into too many personal details, what do you feel about life?
Wow, it's a good question.
Let me add one more question there. How do just a couple of simple questions. How do we get here, and what's it all about?
Wow, we're going there today. Okay. Well, for me, I think the journey is very beautiful. I do believe that what we put out in the universe is what we get back. So I'm a big proponent in the law of attraction. I do believe that life, a lot of things are put in our path and our journey for us to see. There are signs everywhere, every day, every minute. It's just, I think sometimes in our early part, and we have to go through the trials and the troubles and difficult times in life, they're put there for a reason, I believe, to teach us something, to reveal something that we're not seeing about ourselves, and to help us grow. Because I feel like our biggest thing, I don't know the word I'm searching for, is to really, I think, to evolve. And I think there's a lot of times, you'll meet somebody and I'll see, I haven't seen them for 5-10 years or what, I don't know, a long time. and they're kind of still in the same place as they were before, still in the same relationships, the same troubles with finances, the same this or that. I could go on and on. And I believe that they're still not seeing the signs. And I guess going back to what your phrase was about the universe, I feel like when you work with the universe and you're putting out good and you're working on yourself and you're trying to improve on a day-to-day basis, because that's all we can do, right? There's a cycle. The sun comes up, it goes down, and we are given a new 24 hours and a new time to refresh, and it's a refresh button. So my biggest thing is, I have felt that now that I feel like I'm working with the laws of the universe, I feel like things are more aligned. The connectivity is there. The right relationships come into place. The right business opportunities start to happen. And I feel like the more that I'm thinking like that, the more that good things are actually happening. And I don't see it, the bad as bad or the good as good. I just see everything more as now a lesson to help propel me forward. And to why is this being revealed to me? What am I supposed to get from this? So I kind of look at life in that way. And so, yeah, for me, taking even my musical journey in that direction, I have felt much more connected, and like, I feel like there was messages even being sent to me while I was writing the album, because I was writing it with a good purpose in mind. I wasn't writing it for selfish gain or, I want to just be the top of the charts or things like that. For me, I really wanted to write this album for the message. I wanted to write it so that people could connect to music on a deeper level, lyrically, musically, be inspired. I want other artists to hear my music and say there's something different about it. And I want to be a part of that. And I think as long as we can inspire others and move each other forward and do it in love and grace, that's the best thing that we could do. And I would think it would bring all of us a lot closer, because there's still so much in this planet that we're not doing that we should be doing. And we'll eventually get there.
Do you feel that you have a life purpose?
I do feel that, and that's a wonderful question. I feel like we all have a life purpose. Some discover it early on, and some discover it later in life. And I think it's up to us how fast that can come. And it's about how much work that we are willing to do to find that purpose. But I definitely feel like that's why yes, we're all humans. Yes, we all look alike. Yes, we share certain characteristics, but the same reason why there's only one of me, there's only one of you. And I want the listeners to know that there's only one of them. And there's something special that they need to find. It's like a diamond in the rough, right? I feel like we all have some special, unique quality that we can share with the world that no other person has. So for me, I might feel like, maybe there's some musical ability that I have, and I found it and I'm going to run with it. Maybe it might change later on in my life, but right now I feel like my purpose is to share my music and to share, positive messages and blah, 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 right? I feel like that. And I feel like with everybody, there's a uniqueness quality to everybody. And I think it's up to them to find that special gem inside of them and then polish it throughout life and let it shine, really.
Just to wrap up, let's bring it back to the music. Where do you see yourself going in, say, 10 years' time? I'm assuming you probably do a bit of acting as well, will you?
Yeah, I love acting. I love a lot of different forms of my creative outlets, as I would call them. I think for me, I see myself continuing writing and going deeper than like I did on this album. I'm always wanting to top myself. But I feel like I also enjoy directing. I've done a lot of my last music videos. So I could see myself directing some sort of production, whether it's my own music, whether it's a movie, whether it's a play on the West End, or somewhere. I feel along those lines. Because I feel like for me, not to say I was a puppet of other productions, but growing up, you are following the suit of somebody's vision and somebody's, you are just playing a role. And as much as I enjoy playing some other roles, and I would like to play some type of biopic of someone famous, like I've always wanted to play Elvis in a movie or something like that. I see myself doing more of the visionaire of a project. So I would love to do more directing and bringing my own projects to life in that regard. I actually love the production end of it too. I love roping in I love working with all different types of talent, and I like to put things together. So in a way, it's kind of a producer's mind, but I like to produce events and produce different things. So I could see myself doing more of that in the next coming years, but and also performing more. I'd love to be performing across the world, everywhere, really, because I love to travel. So it would be fun to go different places that I love to travel and have different fans there that I could perform for and that kind of thing. So um, it's hard to know, right? But I definitely have dreams that I would like to accomplish. So we'll see. We'll see how the journey goes.
Just looking at you, I think there's a book in you as well.
Ah, well, my last name is technically Book, just so you know.
Is it?
I go by Asher Monroe, but my actual last name is Book. So maybe you're right. Maybe there's a book in there.
There's definitely a book in you then.